Live from the MultiGP headquarters, this is MultiGP News with your host, Chris Thomas.
This week on MultiGP News, a few regional qualifiers wrapping up over the weekend. Find out the top pilots who qualified, plus a full recap of the race.
Then, talk about a need for speed. We'll introduce you to a pilot who not only can shred in FPV, but recently made the top 10 in the Indy 500.
And it's a new segment highlighting all of our MultiGP chapters in the nation. We'll take you inside our featured chapter of the week. What's up, everyone? I'm Chris Thomas.
And I'm Frank Realize Mayday. All this and much more coming up next.
Welcome back to our Sunday edition of the MultiGP News. Let's begin with our 2017 Regional Series update. Last week, we saw the first two pilots in the country punch their tickets to the National Championship by coming in first and second in the Florida Regional Final.
The next regional final is still in a couple weeks, but this past weekend, the road to Reno was made several more stops, as 4 more qualifiers were held from coast to coast. MultiGP News has a look back at all the action.
And 4 qualifiers kicking off over the weekend with the action out west and in the Midwest. We begin in Berkeley, California. 415 FPV hosting about 24 pilots for the first qualifier in Region 6A.
5 FPV, this is a San Francisco local regional qualifier for the MultiGP Nationals. We are live here in Berkeley.
Organizers setting up a track with the same layout as the regional finals track. However, there was no dive gate and only 1 hurdle instead of 2 in the back straightaway.
It's windy right now, it's about 20-mile-per-hour gusts. We just started, Jeff. We're just starting the first official heat. You get 5 races, as many laps as you can do in 2 minutes. You get 2 throwaway races.
The top scorers also slowed down by wind gusts over 20 miles per hour. By the day's end, 7 pilots moved on to the regional finals in Sacramento. Ken Flying Bear Liu, Shane Drain Bam FPV Sawyer, Corey Meow FPV Ibanez, Colby SFPV Cultura, Robert JFK LaCroix, Justin J Rex FPV Baltazar, and Kyle XIX Prophecy Varney. In the mountains of eastern Washington, Spokane FPV hosting the next qualifier in Region 5A in Deer Park. Some pilots even driving up from Boise, Idaho for a shot at the finals in Seattle.
You ready? In 3, 2, 1, go!
The course quick and technical with a split S dive gate and a pass over the track into a swooping slalom. The 20-plus pilots having little to no video issues on the day using 25 milliwatt transmitters and alternating left-hand and right-hand circular polarized antennas.
All right, pilots ready in 3, 2, 1.
4 pilots earned their way to the next round. Patrick Patso Misner, Ryan Flying Ryan Waters, Christopher FPVCH Hartman, Brent Mav FPV Merrick. Moving to the Midwest, KCFPV hosting a Region 3A qualifier in Topeka, Kansas. About 30 pilots entered the race and it was the theme of the weekend. They were also battling strong winds. The course wide open. It featured several natural obstacles and several huge straightaways where pilots could really rip it up at full throttle. After a battery-draining day, 5 pilots moved on to the regional finals in Iowa. Rodrigo Rigo Neri, Steve Woody Hout Cooper, Brian Braindrain Morris, Tristan Freefall Tristan Gilbert, and Josh Buzz Lightbeer Waldron. And wrapping up the weekend, it's down to the wire in Region 4A, Tulsa Drone Racers hosting one of the final qualifiers in Oklahoma. Tulsa, yet another chapter to throw down in a dive gate, as pilots start getting ready for the regional finals track. In the end, a familiar face took first, Ivan Enviastra Rodriguez winning top prize. The 5 pilots to qualify: Eric Lumpy Donut McKinney, David Bubo Garnk, Mike McMike Braemar, Justin Beaupre, Tyler Flanders FPV Landers.
And we're still waiting to see if anyone will break the 6-lap mark on the regional finals track. For all your updated regional series information and a list of upcoming qualifiers or finals, head to multigp.com and click on the Drone Racing Championship tag. And we've got much more of that MultiGP goodness coming up, including a brand new segment where we introduce you to your fellow MultiGP chapters around the country. who will be the first to be featured.
Plus, all FPV pilots have the need for speed, but not like this. He just finished in the top 10 at the Indianapolis 500. Find out why this race car driver loves getting behind a pair of goggles. We've got a brand new segment here where we introduce you to our fellow MultiGP chapters around the country.
This week, we'll meet Sela FPV, our Tier 1 chapter out of New Orleans. MultiGP News has their story.
The drones are coming. The drones are coming.
It's our featured chapter of the week. We're taking you all the way down to New Orleans where we meet Sela FPV. The chapter was created in November of 2015. Their first official race happened in December of that year.
December was our first event. Yeah, December 15th, 2015. Before that, we had an event 4 months before that, and it was just like, it wasn't MultiGP sanctioned, it was just a few guys kind of getting together. And then we had traveled 2 hours to Lafayette. That was the first MultiGP chapter in Louisiana. So a lot of us were traveling 2 hours to compete over there, and after a few months, we had enough guys who were like, hey, let's start something here in New Orleans.
With nearly 100 pilots in their chapter, it's never easy to run a race smoothly, but these chapter organizers have a method to the madness.
If we have any type of awards or any type of trophies or prizes for the winners, nothing gets given out, nothing gets announced. Winners aren't announced until after the course is torn down. So everybody who's there helps tear down a course. Course goes, gets broken down in a matter of sometimes 10, 15 minutes when you've got, 20 people.
To pair a new guy with an experienced guy. And they're going to be buddies for the day. So the experienced guy kind of show them how to set channels and where to sit, when their heat's up. That kind of helps everything.
It didn't take long for this chapter to reach Tier 1.
I'd say within the first year, we had about 60 members in the first year. So we've had a few things that kind of really boost the membership for our chapter. I think the Maker Fair, we got quite a few members after the Maker Fair.
When you're a chapter organizer, everybody knows it's hard to race and organize at the same time, but there are various ways to make it happen.
When you're actually running a race, like a lot of times, something that me and Pablo will do, we'll put each other in separate heats so that, if Pablo's racing, then I can be running.
One of our longest members for 2.5 years, Adrian, he helps us with all the video stuff. And Shannon Broussard, he usually comes for our big events, and he helps us with timing over the past few months, so that's a big help.
Although these organizers have developed a solid system working alongside MultiGP, there is one area they'd like to see improvement in the future.
I think the website is a little hard for some of the guys to use. I've even made videos on trying to help newcomers to use it, but I've actually, a lot of times I have to do it for the guys.
Sela FPV has tons of great pilots in their chapter who have already qualified for the regionals.
We had 10 spots to qualify. We both made it in. Most of our regular guys made it in. Our top pilot would definitely be Kane. Tied for first, pretty much, would be one of our very first members, Wes, are you ready?
Now, if you're looking to join or even start a chapter, here's what these longtime organizers suggest you do.
What I usually do is tell them to get on Facebook and get on MultiGP, because most of all of our information and everything that we put out on the races and just general discussion of just to be in the know of what's going on locally, pretty much have to be on Facebook. The number one thing is just make sure that people come, everything flows smoothly. Doesn't take too long. People are having a good time.
If you would like your chapter featured in an upcoming episode, email us at news@multigp.com. Now, he's an Indy Car 500 race car driver who also has a passion for FPV.
We'll introduce you to Gabby Chaves and hear why he says the two sports are very similar.
It is! Gabby Chaves wins the Freedom 100 in Indianapolis by about a foot. 2 years in a row here.
His name is Gabby Chaves. He's a 23-year-old race car driver who recently made the top 10 in the Indy 500.
you know, it was a great race for me, and I was racing with a brand new team, so it was their debut, and obviously it was really good. We, you know, couldn't have really asked for much more than that.
Not only is he fast behind the wheel, he can fly a quad just as well.
I have been flying, like, really into it probably since the beginning of this year, but kind of started around last year, is more or less when I started. I've never been too much of a hobby person, just kind of been the racing and training and all that, but this kind of really grabbed me pretty hard, so I'm into it a lot.
Although he's been flying for nearly a year now, he already sees the similarities between the two sports.
Definitely. I mean, obviously, they're both requiring a lot of hand-eye coordination and reaction, obviously. And if you're talking strictly about racing, you know, there's the competition, there's the actual trying to improve your lines, getting better, trying to beat the competition. So all that is, to me, it's very, very similar. I can't say that I'm as good as a flyer as I am a driver, but I'm working on it.
Both in FPV and sports car racing, you have to know your build inside out. Gabby puts together his own quads. Although he says it may take him longer, he still enjoys the building process.
I said, you know, I want to take it to the next level, and the next level is building your own customized quad, right? So that's what I've been doing now for, like I said, probably since the first or second month of this year. That's kind of when I really started getting into it pretty hard. The build video I posted recently on my Facebook page was of one of my racing friends, and we got him one together and we built it. You know, it took us all day, but we did it, and he's all excited about it now, and he's learning, and we're just going to keep on bringing guys over.
And what's next for Gabby as far as FPV? He'll be joining us at the International Open in Muncie, Indiana. So if you've ever wanted to fly with a pro driver, now's your chance.
But it's in my nature to race and to compete. So, you know, slowly I've kind of been feeling the pull, you know, that gravitational pull to kind of get into the races and start practicing with, you know, with the gates and setting up track. I'm just trying to really bring into the kind of the FPV community all my racing friends, because I know they would enjoy it as much as I do.
Since being introduced to FPV, Gabby is thankful everyone is so supportive and welcoming in the community.
You know, thanks guys. I appreciate the love. I love how open as a community we are to accepting new people in it. That's very hard to come by. So I love how welcoming and hospitable everyone is, getting new guys into it, and I'm working on my skills. So hopefully I can race with you guys out there pretty soon.
If you have a story and would like to let us know, please email us at news@multigp.com.
Coming up, the viewer-submitted video in our Crash of the Week.
And trust me, you don't want to miss it.
We want to thank all of you who have been submitting your clips for the Crash of the Week. If it wasn't for you, we wouldn't have anything to show you right now.
And it's pretty sweet because we get to see some awesome crashes.
Yep.
And you guys get to put your videos online and show them to the world, because, you know, everybody wants to see that kind of stuff.
You're already crying, so you might as well get something out of it.
Sure, why not? So let's take a look at this Crash of the Week we chose.
Now, that was a pretty hard crash. What do you think, Frank?
I think it was awesome.
Yeah. Well, that's all the time we have for this episode of MultiGP News. Remember, we're giving away a new Cinemizer every week this month, so enter our Facebook raffle today for your next big win. Log on to multigp.com for complete details and entry dates. Also, don't forget to catch our show Saturday and Sundays on our MultiGP YouTube channel. We're doing this all for you.
And finally, we're aiming to reach 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So remember to like, share, and subscribe. And by the way, thanks for watching. I'm Frank Mayday.
And I'm Chris Thomas. Thanks for joining us.
If you like this video, press the like button below, and please don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching. If you're interested in being showcased in the next episode of MultiGP News, please contact us at news@multigp.com.